car braked. I don't think he knew what was coming behind him. Welcome back to Unlockable Character, guys. Today is Saturday. I went whitewater rafting in Tennessee and I got back super late. I was gonna go to a dinner with the driving club of Road Atlanta and the Ferrari guys, but it was too late, so instead I just got everything organized at home, did laundry, and then came to the gym, and now I can finally get some content. So tonight's video will be posted a little bit later, but you know, it'll still be a banger. We're gonna go get the car washed. Tomorrow we're actually gonna do some sick rolling footage with one of the best videographers in Atlanta, if not the best, DJ Shrank Media. So that's gonna be sick. And then after we do the rolling footage, we're gonna get sunrise footage for rollers. We are going to go meet up with some of my good friends up in North Georgia to do a mountain drive tomorrow, guys. So that is gonna be some crazy, crazy cool footage. So really something to look forward to. And thank you for everyone that has joined the Discord. It is honestly incredible. We have over 50 members now, guys. 50 members on the Discord. And we're taking it to new heights, guys. We're gonna be posting some plays for options on 0-day trading expirations on Monday. We're gonna be going back into NVIDIA to make some more money. And I'm also going to be doing educational content on the Discord about what are options, what is, you know, swing trading, how can you make money on Bitcoin. Now more than ever, guys, it's a great time to buy Bitcoin. If you've been watching, it's hit the lower 50K mark, and the last time it hit the lower 50K mark, it bounced right back up within a month at the end of May to the 70K mark. So that's a decent amount of money you could make in a month, if not 2 months. And I don't expect Bitcoin to ever go back down to like 25K. I actually only expect it to really, I have a price target of 100K on Bitcoin by 2030. So you know what? If you've been waiting to invest, now is actually a great time to buy some Bitcoin and load up. And if you want to make money continuously on Bitcoin, you can swing trade it, which is where you watch, you know, where it goes up and down, maybe 5%, 10%. And you make your play, you make the 5%, you make the 10%, you wait for it to go back down another 5%, 10%, and then you make the play again. So I'll be talking about that on the Discord in more detail, so definitely join if you want to make more money, guys. All right, for the rest of the trip, let's get some awesome driving footage. I'm in all-wheel drive sport. Everything is in sport mode except the suspension and steering, which is what I keep in comfort. I'll open it up a little bit. I've turned the brightness all the way down. You'll notice the ambient lighting is red. That is custom coded into the car with Bimmer code. And yeah, guys, let's have some fun. Woo-hoo! All-wheel drive, guys. So let's talk about understeer and oversteer, guys. When you're in all-wheel drive mode, you will get understeer, where the car will not want to go as far out as you want it to. It'll be fighting you. Oversteer is when the car will overcorrect. It'll actually kick out the rear end more often, and that will happen in rear-wheel drive mode. So you really have to be cognizant of what mode you're in when you're driving. I love that. I love that S. It's so much fun to hit. So much fun to hit. What a car, guys. What a car. That wind noise is probably something else at that speed, you know what I'm saying? But remember, guys, this is all created on the AI blockchain on the Render network. This is not something you try at home unless you have more than 10 years of experience, including track time. But what a car, guys. What an absolute monster of a car. This is honestly the best therapy that I could ever ask for. And trust me, I'm not putting NPCs' lives in danger. They put their lives in danger every day by bunching up in traffic, staying in the left lane. And I get a comment here and there from other NPCs who just have no self-awareness about the United States and what's going on in the world, and they think that my driving is going to harm someone. Trust me, it's not going to harm someone. You do more harm to the planet and other people every day without realizing it when you get in your car and you just drive around like an NPC. Not only that, you don't take any, you know, actual action in your life to make your life better. So don't try to lecture me. And all of my self-confidence comes from my self-worth, guys. I know what's inside of myself. I know that I'm living to the best of my abilities, and that's why I've been given the time on this earth to really make an impact and a difference. And I'm so happy to hear from so many of you that I am impacting your lives positively. But I really hope you guys enjoy this nighttime POV drive. And I hear what you guys are saying, you know, get the laser jammers, get the radar detector. It's definitely on the list of to-dos, guys. If you have any brands that you recommend, let me know. So in Atlanta, on the side of the highway, we have so much just random shit, you know what I mean? We have so many cars that get abandoned on the side of the highway, and it's actually a big danger to people who, let's say you're trying to avoid someone who brakes hard in front of you and you're in the right lane. You'd never know what's in the shoulder, guys, so be super careful when you're driving in the South to ever get on the shoulder. It can be very dangerous because we have so many abandoned cars here. So some of you had taken my words to heart, which is take care and let go. And that goes for anything, guys. Jobs, people, material possessions. You take care as best as you can of your professional responsibilities, your personal responsibilities, the relationships that you're in. And if they don't work out for the best, you just let go. And you cannot let emotion get the best of you. Remember guys, that in today's world, companies don't give a fuck about you, you know? But what you should care about is the people at the companies that you work for, because you never know, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that same person that you left a really good impression with might actually be someone that opens a new opportunity for you down the line. So just treat everyone with the same respect, guys, and just know that down the line, new opportunities will come from that. People will remember how you make them feel, okay? So if you can control your emotions, do your job to the best of your abilities, and raise the spirits of the people around you, you will be leaving a really positive impact, which will have, you know, tremendous positive outcomes for you in the future. And I say that with experience, guys. And damn, this car has got a lot of bird poop on it all of a sudden. Definitely need to get that all cleaned up, guys. Car is so stiff, guys. It's unbelievable. And it still smells new. I can't believe it, guys. 50 gear in this car is just, it's unreal, guys. There's so much power in fifth gear. On another car, that would feel like third gear. That's how much power these cars have. Truly unbelievable. Look at this, a bunch of NPCs all bunched up. Complete dumbasses, guys. They're still all bunched up. What is up with all this bird poop on the windshield, guys? Birds just be going crazy today, huh? That's alright. We're gonna pop to the gas station, get the car washed, and then head back home towards Atlanta. And you know, when we're heading back towards Atlanta, we'll get some sick exhaust footage as we go through the tunnels and the access roads by the city. Absolutely wicked car, guys. Absolutely wicked car. You know what I saw today? I saw a Instagram reel of a 2025 M4 where the transmission blew up. It was an M4 competition, so it was automatic. And this guy was in New York and New Jersey somewhere, right? And he has one reel. That's his whole account. It's the transmission blowing up, the car getting on a tow truck, and then he's talking about the dealership has denied his warranty claim. And it's hilarious, guys. New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, they have the most scumbag dealerships, I swear, on the planet. And you really need to fight for yourself. Okay, so this guy claims he didn't modify the car, so the transmission should then be covered under warranty. Now, he had gone through 2 sets of tires, but it's an M4. You're supposed to drive the car hard, so, you know, whatever. You should absolutely lawyer up, and there is a court case that covers you in cases like that. So lawyer up. If you ever get your warranty denied and you haven't modified your car, and something like your engine or your transmission blows up, get a lawyer, contact the corporate BMW office, sue them, sue the dealership, and I promise you things will go your way. The dealerships in New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut will try to bully you, okay? I'm telling you this from experience. Fuck them, all right? Fuck those dealerships. And if you can, try to develop a good relationship with the dealership. I'm not talking about the scumbag Northeast dealerships, but if you're in the South or other places, you really can develop a good relationship with the dealership. Maybe you've bought a few cars from them. Maybe you know the service advisors. They are normal people, guys, and once you develop a relationship with them and you respect them, you can absolutely bring your car in and they will take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So I get a lot of questions, you know, do you still have your warranty? Yes, I have my warranty. We replaced the laser taillight on the right side. That would be pretty expensive if I didn't have my warranty, guys. Another thing, so funny, guys. Okay, the active safety system in the car, when you're on the track, even when you're in track mode, when it detects too much of a slip angle, it will actually prepare the car for a crash, and you can't turn off the active safety system. No matter how hard I've tried, I've contacted BMW Genius over the phone, and you actually have to literally take fuses out of the car to try and prevent the active safety system from working. So what happens is the windows roll up, the seats move forward into like the safest position possible. And what happened on the track in Polecat is the passenger seat moved forward, and it moved forward so quickly that it basically popped out this plastic cover for the passenger side rail. And in doing so, what happened is that side rail kind of like cracked the plastic cover. So that's just another thing that'll be replaced under warranty. But it's just hilarious to me that on these cars, there's an active safety system. It'll tighten the seatbelt, it raises the windows up, and if you're on track, you know that, you know, that's not something that they normally allow. They always want you to have your windows down. So it's really annoying, and BMW's really got to figure that shit out, especially if you always are on the track. It's incredibly annoying, and it's caused damage to the car based on how quickly the passenger seat moved forward itself. But we'll get it all fixed. The passenger side, that plastic cover is a very cheap part, and it's easy to replace it. Look, we got some road pirates, guys, hiding. Bastards. All they do is raise revenue. Do you really think that they're helping increase safety? Do you know what the #1 problem is in North Georgia, in Gwinnett and Forsyth County? It's young kids with wealthy parents who get supercars and like very, fast cars, who have no priorities in life, who are driving like crazy, whose parents themselves probably are just terrible parents. There's substance abuse, there's mental illness, and they just use their car all the time in ridiculous situations. You think the police are gonna go after those parents? No, they're just out here ticketing NPCs, ticketing everyone, basically. Like, in America, we don't ever really solve the root cause of most of these problems. We just try to have temporary, quick solutions on top. And tickets is like a Band-Aid on top. It's never going to solve the problem. What we really should do is raise the speed limits and introduce a tiered licensing system based on your experience. We need to get the older drivers off the road, and we need to prevent young drivers from getting access to extremely fast cars, especially if they come from money and if they have connections and they feel like, oh, they can get away with everything. And that's just being honest, guys. You can call that based, you can call that grounded. It's so funny to me, guys, that, these truly wealthy families have children who are so mentally fucked up. Like, you have everything going for you, your whole life is set up, and you're depressed. It's unbelievable. These kids have no perspective, they have no resiliency. It's truly something else. Like, I don't understand how you can be born into wealth and wake up every day depressed. Like, go get after it, you know what I mean? Or get some money and then use it to build something meaningful. Don't ruin your life with drugs and partying and terrible connections, or trying to act like a gangster or a rapper, in Georgia, just because you think it's a cool thing to do. I guarantee that officer will get back on the road and either slowly creep up in the left lane or just profile in the right lane. I think that was GSP too. But yeah, guys, the #1 thing that I see most Americans lack, from the wealthiest to the middle class, is just perspective. They're not grateful for what they have. And if you're not grateful, it's so easy to become depressed because you have no perspective. If you lack perspective, you will have no idea what true joy is. So, what I really recommend is forever keep a curious mind and forever, be grateful, because then life really is you being a kid in a candy store. And that's how I feel about cars. I get into this car every day and it just blows my mind. Like, I'm so grateful for this thing. And I'm so grateful for all the experiences I'm able to have, because I know in the grand scope of things, in the history of humankind, there's only a handful of people who will ever have these experiences. And so that keeps me in check in terms of my reality. And it really makes me feel like every day is a true blessing. And I just wake up like energized, like super joyful. And I won't lie, I've been depressed in my life, because when I was in college, I had a similar mindset, but I just felt powerless to do anything. And it really took until I worked some jobs, made some money for myself, where I realized, oh, okay, I can make a difference. And by building wealth in this country, by creating capital, and giving back to people, I can feel good about my life. And cars, I've always wanted to be a race car driver, and I can live out that dream during track days based on how I have positioned my life and made money. And so that's what got me out of my depression. And I would also recommend, for those of you that are very stoic, which means that you try not to feel emotions, if you prevent yourself from feeling emotions, you're basically bottling up. You're bottling up experiences, and you're not fully in the moment. And it'll also really harm you when it comes to actually trying to deeply connect with women or entering a relationship. So there is a dark side of being too stoic, where you can become depersonalized and the world itself can become colorless, and you don't want that to happen. And one of the things I can recommend is reading more fiction, which is just, you know, empowering your imagination. Because as much as you may want to be curious about the facts and the real world, it's okay to also fuel your imagination and to think about, you know, what if, what could be, the magic in the world, the magic in books, the magic in films. And I think that really helped me when I went through depersonalization and a period of my life where I wasn't able to feel much. All right, guys, I'm gonna pop this back on when we get to the car wash. Let's go. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Unlockable Character. We made it to the car wash, and there's a lot of things to talk about, guys. First thing is the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which started on Thursday. It happens in the UK every year. This is actually a bucket list item for me to go to. You see the most amazing cars in the world, and you see the craziest stuff you've ever seen. Like, you'll see Range Rovers on 2 wheels driving diagonally. You'll see the craziest hypercars go through this circuit, which is kind of like a rite of passage. And the craziest thing is Lotus brought out their most recent hypercar. It's like an almost $3 million car. And within the first 5 seconds, the driver started doing a burnout. This is an all-electric hypercar. And within the first 5 seconds, it looks like he lifted off the throttle and he went right into the wall. So I have talked about that. That's called snap oversteer. It can happen to people when they initiate a burnout and then they let off the throttle, because one of the wheels or one or more of the wheels will get traction when the others do not, and it'll just violently snap the car. And that's exactly what happened, and it's probably the most embarrassing thing that Lotus could have ever imagined happening during the Festival of Speed. So definitely check out, you know, that Lotus crash. It's really funny, to be honest, really funny. Yeah, and they also have a little kind of donut pit for cars to come in and do some donuts. And the new Lamborghini Revuelto, which is, I think, the Aventador replacement, the guy pussyfooted it and actually bumped the rear bumper onto the wall. And I'm like, get some better drivers, guys. Like, if you're listening out there, and if you work for Lamborghini, BMW, Lotus, Ferrari, Porsche, hit me up, because I will show people how to actually drive those cars. And it's so embarrassing to see that happen to that level of car at that type of event. But, you know, shit happens. But definitely some funny stuff to check out. And you know what the big news is today, guys, is that Donald Trump got shot at, and it looks like a bullet grazed his ear. I was told, my girlfriend's dad said a woman died as well, and this is serious, guys. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there that Donald Trump is most likely going to win the election. And if that happens, I really hope that he does something about income taxes, okay? If he can lower the income taxes in this country, there will be an economic revival. And let's talk about the border. In the early 2010s, like let's say 2013, 2014, all of this information is tracked, by the way, by the Department of Homeland Security. They track the amount of interactions at the border and border crossings. So we were talking about maybe 400,000 people or interactions per year at the border in terms of crossing at 2014. By the end of that decade, by 2019, 2020, that increased to almost 2 million, if not more than 2 million. So an increase of 5 times within 5-6 years is just unsustainable. And what's happening at our border today is China is smuggling fentanyl into the country through Hispanic immigrants. We have terrorist organizations smuggling terrorists into this country through our southern border. If you look at South America, it is completely controlled by cartels, and they are smuggling more and more fentanyl, crystal meth, and other drugs through our border than ever. And South America as a whole is not looking good. So for everything that the United States does around the world, we really need to control our side of the Western Hemisphere. We need to control South America in a much better way. Okay, we've let so many countries basically go to ruin, and now it's creeping up on our back door. You know what I'm saying? And let's just be honest, guys, Joe Biden is asleep at the wheel. He's basically a big puppet. And these last 4 years, the Democrats have done nothing in terms of growing new young leaders. You think Kamala Harris is going to be a good leader? Like, forget about it. She's just another person in the system who put away a lot of minority fathers for drug-related charges like marijuana possession in California, guys. She's not someone who is going to lead this country. And I'm not saying I support Trump because he is deeply connected to Jeffrey Epstein. He definitely has abused and sexually mistreated and assaulted women, including underage women. He definitely is someone who has committed massive fraud. But you know what? In terms of pure economics, I do think that he would bring this country to a better economic position than another term of Joe Biden. So my prediction is Donald Trump will win the election, and you will see a resurgence of oil and gas companies in the United States and the related stocks. So if you want to know what stocks will go up if Donald Trump gets elected, join the Discord, guys, because there are some penny stocks that could become $5, $6 that are trading between 20 and 70 cents right now. And that is a lot of money on the line if you want to make a lot of money within a few months. All right, guys, you have to be extremely careful when you have carbon ceramic brakes and you come out of a car wash. They will not stop the same way they do when they are dry. You actually have to pump the brakes. I've talked about this in my previous videos as well. And you guys know that I turn the AC off when I go in the car wash. That's just how I roll. I don't want all that stuff getting into the ventilation system. And you know, knock on carbon fiber, guys. I don't have any issues with, like, when I start the car and the AC smells funky. I know some people have that, and that's usually when mildew and mold builds up in your cabin filter or your AC system. And I think because I don't keep the AC on during things like a car wash, that prevents that from happening. But that just might be me, you know. Look at this, guys. It's much harder to brake, so I'm pumping it, coming to a stop. Gas prices here, you know, when we were in Tennessee, gas was $3, and now we're back in Atlanta, North Georgia right now. And I went to Shell, it was $4.50. Like, come on. You know they're price gouging people. It's just crazy. The price of gas will also come down if Donald Trump is elected, I guarantee it. And this assassination attempt, like, how is this even possible in 2024? How does the Secret Service not have a massive perimeter around any rally where the presidential candidate and former president is speaking? I can't comprehend these things. Some people are saying, oh, it's a false flag. Like, have some sense, you know what I mean? Someone died today, and, you know, I always look at both sides of the coin, but I really don't think a false flag would include someone dying in the stands. I refuse to believe that. But, you know, everyone has their own opinion. But today will go down as one of the monumental moments which helps Donald Trump get elected. And, you know, what also happened is Joe Biden had a press conference around NATO, and he was introducing the president of Ukraine. And instead of, you know, saying the correct name of the president of Ukraine, he said, well, here is President Putin. And it's just those types of slip-ups, guys. Like, this guy, it's unbelievable where we are as a country, you know, because I don't truly support either of the presidential candidates, but Joe Biden is so clearly a puppet, and the Democrats have just coasted along and, you know, allowed him to basically sit in the office while they have not properly managed and governed the country. And it's just really, really, I think, saddening, to be honest, if you look at it. If you look at Donald Trump, what he's going to do is simplify a lot of the policies that were put in place by the Democrats. He's going to cut a lot of government spending. He's going to put tariffs in place on other countries and try to lower the income tax. And, you know, if you think about it from a moral standard, no, he's not a good person. But is he going to do the right things for the economics of this country? I'm going to say yes. Yes, he is. And so, you know, it's a real balancing act of where does your heart lie in terms of what is good for this country versus having a true shadow puppet like Joe Biden in office. And let's not kid ourselves, guys. Donald Trump is absolutely compromised in terms of his dealings with women, prostitutes, porn stars, underage women with Jeffrey Epstein. Most likely Russia has a massive security file on him. Israel has a massive security file on him, and they could blackmail him at any time. But what Donald Trump also represents is a wild card, because he really does his own thing. So Russia, China, they don't know how to deal with someone like Donald Trump, whereas Joe Biden, I guarantee Russia, China, Israel, they all see Joe Biden as someone that they can kind of play with. And Joe Biden does not represent a strong United States of America. All right, guys, when we get closer to Atlanta, I'll turn this back on. All right, let's go. All right, guys, we are back at it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Beautiful night. I realized that all that bird poop was actually just bug splatter. A lot of bugs out today. It feels so good to have less humidity. It feels really nice out right now. One thing, guys, if you're driving, before you ever start driving, adjust everything in the car. The seat, the mirror, the side view mirrors. You really need to know what's going on around you, and you need to be aware at all times. Do not basically think that you can always just look ahead and everything's good. You really need to develop a sense of what's going on around you. Where are cars going? And not only that, you need to start to be able to predict the actions of other drivers. In a sense, you need to be 2 steps ahead of everything. And that doesn't just go for driving, that goes for life. And you know what that'll really serve you well with is with women, because women want to feel safe. And if you have things under control and you have that energy about you, they're gonna take notice of that. When a woman can truly be feminine, it's when a man is in his masculine. And what that means is, say you're in public, you are almost hyper aware of everything that's going on, but you play it off cool. And that aura, that sense of confidence that is innate and is derived from your self-awareness, people can feel that energy, guys. If you are truly grounded in yourself and your abilities, and going to the gym will really help with this, guys, trust me. Going to the gym, testing your physical limits, your mental limits, all of that will help with every area of your life. That's why even today, after driving 4 hours to Tennessee, going whitewater rafting on the highest level whitewaters, I'm not even sure how to describe it, and then driving 4 hours back, I still made it a priority to clean up everything in the house and then go to the gym and then get this footage for you guys, because I'm driven by a purpose, a mission. This is meaningful to me. No time for NPCs, guys. No time for NPCs. Let's get a little bit of exhaust noise from the windows down a little bit. To drive as smoothly as possible, guys. It's not about jerky actions. In New York and New Jersey, you have a ton of people who do those swimming things, right, where they cut up in traffic and that's all they do. But they really don't know how to drive. They have like one hand on the steering wheel and they're just jerking it left and right. That's why they get into all those accidents. They really don't know what they're doing. See, I downshifted there instead of braking. Downshifting is called engine braking in a car, and it can reduce the speed. That was a sick yellow Dodge Viper. What's crazy is the number of people that don't have their lights on at night. Like, what is going on? Like this guy in the right lane right now, no lights. How is that even possible that you drive without your lights on? Most modern cars will automatically put the lights on for you. So this is the Sandy Springs, Dunwoody area. That's the King and Queen buildings over there. It's honestly a beautiful, clear night, guys. It's truly a beautiful night. And you know what, guys? When you go to the gym, what it'll help you do is release any tension that you have, especially if you do dynamic stretching in the beginning. So what I usually do is I'll do 5 minutes to 10 minutes on the stair climber or the treadmill. And, you know, that'll get my heart rate up. It'll help me start sweating. And from there, you know, then I start working out. Then I start hitting the weights. And I also use a lot of different kind of helpful tools. Like I use elastic bands to stretch myself out. For guys, as you get into your 30s, your late 20s, your early 30s, you need to maintain the hip flexibility. It's a really important thing. If you don't have hip flexibility, a lot of things in your life will become a lot harder, including lower back pain. So really think about flexibility and longevity instead of just pushing for heavy weight. I mean, it's always nice to lift heavy weight, and I think a cheat code that I've learned is that if you lift heavy weight with your legs in the beginning, it can introduce a bigger pump for anything else that you're doing, like your arms, your back, your shoulders. And I do need to do a little bit more research into understanding like what are the exact, you know, exact reasons behind it. But if you build a solid core, which is, you know, your lower abdominal muscles, the core of your body, and you build massive leg muscle, everything else becomes easier. And it'll also help with everything, your posture, your form. A lot of the most explosive athletes in the world, they lose their explosiveness over time because they actually don't have good posture and form when they're running. So back in, I think, 2010, the MVP was on the Chicago Bulls, and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but he was one of the most explosive players in the league. And he had some serious leg injuries because of how he would jump and land. And basically, it's called gait. I think it's G-A-I-T, which is kind of like your form, your posture, how you run, things like that. You really need to be mindful of that. And if you develop good posture, good form, you are increasing your longevity and decreasing your likelihood of injury. And it'll help with everything. If you work a desk job and you have good posture and good form, you'll prevent your lower back from hurting, you'll stop slouching. People will actually see you more as a leader just from good posture. It's quite incredible, standing upright. So there's benefits not just in your health, but also in your professional career for maintaining your body and having good posture. Guys, I'm hoping tomorrow when I meet up with DJ Shrank Media, we can do some rollers along MARTA right here on 400. I can't wait. And then we're gonna do the mountain drive, of course. So that's gonna be some really, really cool footage. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Up here is Buckhead. That's what we're coming up towards now. And you can tell how clear it is. It's just a beautiful night, guys. And you know what's happening, right, guys? That's my favorite tunnel. We're gonna hit that bad boy and have some fun. Just make sure it's clear. Again, I do take a lot of safety into consideration. I'm not out here trying to cause any type of disturbance. Oh, god damn, guys. Oh my god. That car braked. I don't think he knew what was coming behind him.